One of my favorite things about the show is the variety of kind of bad guys that we can do.
A lot of them are all toehold in some reality.
There's always inspiration. We have newspaper articles, we're reading a lot of stuff online and just saying, what would Reddington do with this guy?
They're very, very strange, eccentric, complex, interesting people.
And if you find that you can't finish your meal, we've provided takeout bags in the kitchen.
They're all very different from one another, but one thing that is consistent between all of them is they all have an expertise or a skill that they are the best at.
Let's get to work.
The challenge is always to find a criminal who has a service or a specialty that we haven't really seen before.
This is him? This is the troll farmer?
The first half of the third season was reckoning with the collateral damage of the end of the second season.
It was really about finding ways to come up with these bad guys who could be part of Red's plan.
Because Red and Liz were on the run. It wasn't just, and here's the Blacklist of the week. It had to be, why is Red telling the FBI while they're on the run, letting us know that there's a case that we have to solve?
Change of plans.
Because?
Because after far too much time playing defense, today's the day we switch to offense.
He was leading them to make discoveries that one upon the next led to, again, a bad guy that I also individually and sort of generally loved in the first half, the Cabal.
Do you have evidence that the Cabal exists?
Names of Cabal members have been published
I know about the Fulcrum. I've seen the list. It's 25 years old.
Names on that list are in positions of power.
The Cabal was really, I think, introduced in the first season with Alan Alda, who was sort of a voice of that big bad.
That very much played a part in defining the show.
As we developed the Cabal more, we realized, it couldn't just be shadowy figures around a conference table. The group had to be able to operate realistically.
So you end up with a guy like the director who can waltz into the post office and really mix things up.
The FBI and the CIA must communicate, which means you two must work together.
The director, that's the best bad guy. He was the head of the Cabal. I mean, he's just been a delight.
Oh my God.
Oh, your God can't help you now, Peter.
Anytime you can work with David Strathairn, I mean, he's amazing.
It's time for you to close the book on Elizabeth Keene, permanently.
3 hours to make one woman go away? We've collapsed entire governments in less time.
Laurel Hitchens' character, she, I thought, did a great job representing the government and the complicated position that the Cabal sort of occupied within the government.
Christine Lottie is still out there in a high position of power. Cooper once said, that's for another day. I won't forget that. What day is that going to be? Because she killed Reverend Wright, and we don't actually know about it. So there's been no justice for Reverend Wright.
Where's Reverend Wright?
That's what I'm trying to find out. This is not like her. I'm worried something's happened.
Eventually you follow that path all the way through to a guy like Mr. Solomon, who's really the tip of the spear, who's out in the world executing all of these dastardly plans that we see the Cabal coming up with in those shadowy rooms.
Such fragile creatures, these tiny humans. Skulls like eggshells. Who's your favorite friend? Should we take along Mr. Panda or Mr. Dinosaur?
Mr. Solomon, who to me is in some ways one of our most successful bad guys.
Mr. Panda, I think.
In the third season, we wanted sort of a different kind of bad guy, but somebody who wasn't as overt of a big bad. Somebody that was dangerous and yet there's something going on in his head that I don't quite get. He's very sort of cavalier about his work. He enjoys his work.
We thought Mr. Solomon's gonna be a guy, he's gonna do some stuff, and then Solomon dies and we go on with our lives. Just watching that role evolve and watching Eddie inhabit that character really made us stop and say, look, this is a guy we gotta keep around. Like, we have someone formidable to really bang up against Red, and you don't get that every day.
Came together rather nicely. They went with ruby fringed tulips and pink peonies. You'd be impressed.
I'll tell you what then. I'll call you back in a couple of minutes, give you some time to consider my offer. And then, I'm coming in to check out the flowers myself.
In other circumstances, as far as Mr. Solomon was concerned, they could be friends. This was just business to him.
One of the great pleasures of this is when there's a character that is being built towards Reddington and he meeting.
Mr. Reddington. I think you know the outcome of this.
Eddie brought so much humanity to it. A lot of people will kind of shy back a little bit from playing a monster. And he played the monster with so much zeal. You kind of liked him too.
He has this baby face, but he's like this evil monster. And he really brings it to life.
I'm gonna execute a terrorist and a crime lord. Style points count.
It's fun to write characters who have the remarkable ability to string words and sentences together in the moment that you yourself wish, were you ever in a situation that remotely resembled this, you could actually come up with off the cuff in the moment.
You are beautiful. Actually, I'm looking for somebody that I believe has been a customer of yours.
I had a conversation with Eddie and I said, hey, how do you do it, man? As I'm sitting down to write this scene, I want to know what the character in this moment would be thinking. He brushes the waitress's hair behind her ear. And that is written into the script because Eddie, he said, I wouldn't be mean to her. She's done nothing wrong.
Any chance that you still have that number?
He was in my first movie called My Bloody Valentine. It was this horror movie we did. And he had just shot this little indie Twilight. I remember, like, he came to me, he's like,
tiny little vampire
yeah,
movie
I just finished
nobody's
this, like,
ever
little
heard of."
vampire movie. No, it's not gonna, it's just tiny. He didn't know
He
that
didn't
it
know
was
there were
gonna-
like massive books?
Yeah, no, and now he's a blacklister.
So it's a very weird juxtaposition of violence and being refined, and he brings a different sort of energy to the show.
When you fall prey to errors, you become prey. Somebody clean that up.
It's very hard to pick my favorite blacklister of the season. I really liked the Marvin Gerard character.
Watching him come in and be the legal mind behind Raymond Reddington was a real treat.
Hello, Marvin.
My parole hearing is next week.
Christmas came early.
Totally dominated that role. He thought like, oh, it's gonna be a lawyer. We can't have the second blacklister of the season just be some lawyer. And then watching the role evolve, and then when we brought Fisher Stevens in, we knew like, all right, this is more than just like a lawyer. This is Red Reddington's lawyer.
I told you not to bother.
Elizabeth Marvin Gerard.
The simple conceit that Red Reddington had created a hostage situation as a mechanism to break Marvin Gerard out of jail as a way to strategize a plan to exonerate Liz. I just thought that that had a certain elegance.
Well, who could have predicted that?
You can't do it every episode, but there are a handful of episodes each season when the Blacklist character has a personal connection to one of our characters.
Who are you?
My name is Zal bin Hassan.
I was told that we were going to meet my brother and that was going to be a surprise because I thought he was dead, and that would be an emotional episode for my character. Shaheen.
Sister?
I think it was important for the show to always keep the other characters' stories alive, and we had left Samar in season 2 with this knowledge that her brother was not the person she had believed.
What became really important about Zal Ben Hassan was not only did he have a personal connection to Samar, there was a very specific lock, and he was the key that turned that lock.
Hassan is all yours.
My favorite blacklister of season 3?
Morning, sunshine.
They weren't a blacklister that Red gave us or that we found. They were arbitrary.
Kings of the Highway was a different sort of episode because it wasn't Red targeting these guys.
So tell me, Kenneth Rathers, what's a cat like you doing driving an old beater like that?
How does Red get caught? How does the master? He gets caught by a highway robbery. He will not be caught by the most super spies of the world. He'll be caught, by being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Misery, I think, was a little bit the inspiration there, that all of a sudden these people who know who he is and are aware of his reach and realize what he's worth become incredibly dangerous. So even though they weren't calculated high achievers, I think they were a good, fun bad guy.
I think he's a character who's very comfortable in chaos.
That's big talk coming from a guy who's...
You are aware you need to clean and oil these from time to time, right? It's become habit, and it's reflexive. I think he's lived a life that requires that. I think he aspires to be a step ahead. You are in desperate need of some help, Jillian.
There will be times when you read something in the paper and you're like, okay, well, we should do an episode about this. I mean, why not? What else are we doing? I mean, they can be creepy, weird guys, but they could at least have something that they're saying about something that's going on in the world. And this was an example where in Iran, rather than accept homosexuality, they will sometimes force the children who are homosexual to get a transgender surgery.
For years, I had dreamt of ways to get my revenge on you. So many fantasies swimming in my head, so many that they gave birth to a business. As the djinn, I make people's fantasies come true.
This character had just such a sympathetic reason for acting in the way that she was acting, given what had been done back in Iran. And I thought it was well executed, but just the core fact of it was great.
The Shell Island retreat provides a rare opportunity to capture the heads of some of the most lethal organized crime syndicates.
I enjoyed the Shell Island retreat. We always talk about Red's world, and you never really get a look at what Red's world is. And this was kind of a peek behind the curtain of, oh, well, these guys get together and they sort of hash stuff out once a year.
May I present to you Raymond Reddington?
I love Mr. Greg DeVries. That's probably one of my favorite Blacklisters. I wish we had more episodes with him.
I'm so totally confused.
Is it possible they know each other?
If that's true, my head is definitely going to explode.
I feel like that's like a Usual Suspects episode. You can actually watch that episode and each line plays about 3 different ways. If he was the real one, if Red was the real one, and what it means if neither of them are the real one. And so it introduced the concept of, which I had never thought of before, is Raymond Reddington.
Lizzie, your mother is dead.
Then who is it? Who? You owe me this.
Our new bad, or maybe an old bad that we finally get to meet, Alexander Kirk, formerly thought to be Rostova.
And that's where my character comes in.
Tom told me something right before he died.
What was that?
Your father's alive.
There's a big revelation that's been going on for 3 years about who's the father and who's the mother.
I'm telling you with no uncertainty. Your father is dead.
I'm the father, and he's been looking for his daughter for a long time. So there is some history that's gonna set things up for 4th season.
The events of the end of season 3 blew things up. Liz is in incredible jeopardy, and Red and our team are completely on their heels.
It'll be interesting to see how Reddington reacts in season 4 to knowing just how much Liz needs to be away from him in her mind to live a safe life with her child.
There have always been some lines that even Red wouldn't cross. But in the next season, I think we may see Red being forced really out of his comfort zone and forced to do things that we've never seen him do before.
I think that there are some really compelling characters to come, so perhaps our best is not behind us.
It's anybody's guess what those guys have up their sleeves. I think the rest of us are kind of waiting with bated breath to find out next season.
And who might you be?